Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. This week I've been thinking about all of the amazing people that I've had in my life that have really had a positive impact. And as I was thinking about this, it really came present for me that there are some people that come into our lives that are with us for a lifetime and they continue to be influences in our lives. And then there are those that kind of come in for brief periods of time and also make that impact. And what I was thinking about is that sometimes those people that make some very large impacts are only in our lives for a short period of time. There's no real correlation between the number of years or months or days that you spend with someone. Sometimes it's just the right thing that they say that can put you on a totally different trajectory and really impact your life. And one of those people for me was my first boss when I left after I graduated college and went into the corporate world and started working for Procter & Gamble. And he was my first district manager. His name was Frank Jeffrey, the late Frank Jeffrey. Amazing guy. And so anyway, I was thinking about this experience with Frank. The very first day I started at Procter & Gamble, he called me into his office. And, it was basically the customary, onboarding process. So he talked to me about the values of the company. He talked to me about the vision for the sales force. He talked to me about, what my role was and how I was going to be able to move up the ladder if I continue to do well in the organization. And then he stopped and he said something to me that 3.5 decades later still stays with me and still something that I not only use in my own life, but also when I'm coaching and leading others. And he paused and then he looked at me and he said, "Chris, I need to tell you something. You can come to me with any problem, just always come with a solution. You can come to me with any problem, just always come with a solution." And what he meant by that is that he was always there. His door was always open for me. But before I came with a challenge, he challenged me to be able to come up with the solution for that, right? So that I wasn't just coming to him just to ask for help and I hadn't thought anything through, but he was training me to be a leader, to think through challenges and problems before I came to help. Now, what I realized from this is this was expansive thinking for me, because now what it did is it gave me ownership versus being the victim, which I talked about in last week's Mind of a Champion tip of the week. It's being able to take ownership in the situation. Now, were there times that I came up with solutions that just weren't workable, and then I went to him or someone else and they said, "No, you need to think about that differently"? Absolutely. But the magic of it is that when I was doing that, what it was doing is getting my mind engaged and in that ownership. And then as a result of that, I was looking at problems from a solution-based, or challenges from a solution-based perspective versus a problem-based perspective. Let me say that again. Looking at things from a solution-based perspective versus a problem-based perspective. Now, as I said last week, I did my Mind of a Champion tip of the week on the great distinction from the awesome super coach Steve Chandler, where he said that we have the opportunity anytime we have challenges in our lives is we can look at things from a perspective of being a victim or an owner. And see, when we have this mindset of only coming and asking for help when we have thought through a solution, we become owners. And that doesn't mean we don't ask for help again. It just means that what we do is we do it in a much more empowered way. For me, I think that one of the greatest honors that I've had in my work throughout the years is be able to coach not only clients, but also develop other people in my leadership roles. And one of the things that I think is the most important part of us, our roles as leaders, is to create within the people we lead this idea for them to think for themselves, to lead themselves, to be solution-based, right? And so just like the great author Tom Peters said, he said that, leaders don't develop followers, they create more leaders. And when we are challenging people to think for themselves and to come up with solutions to problems before they come to us, we're fostering that, we're guiding that, we're helping them grow and expand, and we're actually impacting our organizations in much greater ways as well. So that's what I want to share with you today, my friends, is think about that. When you have challenges, when you have difficulties in your life and you go to ask for help, always come up with that solution first in your own mind. Because I think most of the time we'll find out that we already know the answer, right? But when you do that, you look at life, you look at challenges from a proactive standpoint, from a solution-based standpoint. That's not only going to serve you, but it's going to serve others as well. And who knows, if you use that with the people that you're leading and that you're coaching and that you're guiding, you may be the Frank Jeffrey to them one day. Just remember, you can come to me with any problem. Just always come with a solution. So, thanks so much for joining me for this installment. Guys, I so appreciate your feedback, your likes, your shares, your comments to these. And if you got value from this lesson, please make sure you share this. And if you have other things that you want to ask me, go ahead and type it or make comments in the section below. So I look forward to seeing you next week. And until next time, this has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. And we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.